Have you noticed this one specific detail missing in the latest Call of Duty games? Just look at these two and tell me if you can spot the difference. There's something so significant that's missing, which makes the experience so dissatisfying. And it really pains me to say it, as someone who grew up mostly playing COD. The game just lost every ounce of its soul throughout the decade. And I think it's fair I cover all the game modes to even further prove my point. Starting off with the campaign. From the very beginning, the campaign was the main selling point of COD, for people to buy and play the game. There were no zombies, and multiplayer was not mainstream until Call of Duty 4. And it shows. It was some of the best campaigns we have ever gotten in comparison to the slop we get now, but more on that later. In the older COD games, I'd say before Black Ops 3, every mission was crafted in such a way to make you feel immersed in the actual story of the game, making the world around you feel alive. And now all we get is this Warzone slop, where you run around on a Warzone map by yourself or with these random characters who you either don't care about or even worse, straight up operators from multiplayer. Now, going back to these two, one of the biggest things that shaped the campaigns were scenes like this. You fighting along other soldiers whose names you did not know. All of you fighting for the same goal, making you feel like a soldier instead of the main hero who could do everything by himself. That one crucial detail that I'm talking about is the volume of friendly NPCs. Something that you might not have even noticed missing until I told you. Like in Call of Duty 1, one of the missions had a large number of comrade soldiers being sent to storm a beach without any weapons or bullets. And you were one of those soldiers, making you feel the impact of seeing the whole front line of soldiers getting absolutely gunned down right in front of you. As to now, where we get the same group of already established characters throughout all the missions, with no expendable side NPCs that are programmed to die fighting by your side. Which in their defense, it does fit the special forces type setting, but let's be for real, not adding a single mission in years where it feels like there's an actual war going on is very disappointing and just feels lazy. Which leads me to cover the problem with the story aspects. The stories that they now poop out are basically watered down versions of our nostalgia that ultimately resulted to what we just got with Black Ops 7, where we have Menendez running around spawning zombies, or throwing big machete score streaks, or Harper turning into a skibidi toilet boss battle, turning our memories into wacky brain rot, and topping it off with some corny, unfitting dialogue between the characters.
I'm a goddamn onion, Mason.
Whether it be bringing back a map from an old COD game, or a beloved character returning, they just cannot think of a new interesting plot and characters like they did before with the Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and even Infinite Warfare, which are arguably some of the best campaigns we have ever gotten from the series. And now, COD has lost all of its soul, just feeling like a big ad campaign for Warzone. I mean, why would they add shields and self-revives to the campaign? It just makes no sense how a franchise could lose so much so quickly. I know I went on a little rant here, but I have always loved playing the campaigns, and now they're just diabolically unenjoyable to play. Multiplayer is without a doubt the most influential game mode that skyrocketed COD to the success it has now. A fast-paced action game mode that exploded the internet with its trick shots and game montages being a big trend. But unfortunately, it also lost all of its soul over the years, though not as much as the campaign, but it adds up. The biggest factor is how the maps are now made to upkeep the festering brain rot of strict 3-lane maps, the low attention to details for those maps, and some questionable skin bundles. Back then, it was not all about pushing out as many 3-lane maps as possible, where all you literally had to do was run in one direction. Back then, the devs would implement these cool little semi-hidden routes to most of the maps, where you had a chance to flank the enemy team to have some sort of strategy. Like even on Hijack, you could go down to the engine room and safely cross to the other side of the map, therefore flanking the enemy team. And now all the maps just feel exactly the same. Most of the new maps are so forgettable that I can't even pull one name from the top of my head, because all of these maps share the same 3 aspects. 3 straight lanes, they're all almost on the same level playing field, with 1 or 2 height advantages on both sides of the map, both having the view at the center of the map, and of course some wacky obstacle like water scattered in between, which just becomes annoying and repetitive instead of fun. And then the attention to detail. Once again, the maps are just built in such a boring setting that nobody really cares about the story behind these maps, because most of them just straight up ripped from the campaign. The same areas we were ready to play it on, or suffered if the mission was horrible. Which led the devs to releasing small maps like the 50th Shipment Remake or Remaster, or the absolutely abhorrent apartment map from Black Ops 6, all focused on double XP events so people can grind for the camos, when the focus should be on the detail and the quality of the maps, so they both play well and have the spark of not being repetitive after just a couple of games. I'm not gonna lie, the Zombies is by far the most preserved game mode in COD. but it is slowly losing it, and let me explain why. Zombies has always been about getting on and relaxing, while going through waves of zombies and seeing how long you can last. And then if you really wanted to, you could try doing the secret Easter eggs, which were not handheld like they are now. In the past, it was actually a cool achievement to do, because you had to do research on how to do the overly long Easter eggs that would sometimes take hours to complete, and all of it was found by the community. They were actual Easter eggs. And then, at the end of each Easter egg, you would get lore about the zombies crew you were playing as. Unlike now, where you play as random operators that are not connected to the story whatsoever, making the story feel useless and not interesting enough to care about. I do gotta say, the Easter eggs are still pretty cool though. Even if they do hold you through the entire way, like the swords and the big bosses, they're so reminiscent of the old days. Now, going to something completely different. In my opinion, the biggest problem has played all of these game modes is Activision constantly forcing Warzone aspects of the game into all of these game modes. Like, why do we have shields and score streaks and zombies, making you practically invincible? Or the fact that you can drive cars and boats in these game modes, making the game more of an open world instead of linear, literally removing the fear of dying entirely. Like, I got back on Black Ops 2 Zombies to record some gameplay for this video, and it was like 10 times harder, but in a good way. You just get 2-tap clapped if you aimlessly run around. I legit forgot how much more intense the older COD zombies were. It's really sad to see this beloved franchise fall to the despair of corporate greed, and I genuinely think that release of Warzone was the doomsday of COD. Everything started going downhill as Activision put most of its effort into Warzone, and forcing people to use the non-customer friendly launcher, where the launcher forces you to restart the game multiple times to then start downloading shaders every single time you restart your computer. All that while popping up ads for their ridiculous skin bundles. And then if you want to play a different COD game, well, the whole process restarts, as you apparently have never downloaded shaders for that COD game. Now I do want to be clear that I'm not making this video just to jump on the COD hate train. I really do hope that COD comes back and recovers from the past failures, as it is one of the most beloved franchises. But I don't know, tell me what you think in the comments. Will it actually succeed in doing so? And I really want to thank all of you for watching till the end, because I know I started rambling in some parts of the video, and I'm very grateful for you staying through the journey.